looks like I messed up the seasoning today. Sorry.
Normally Rena would have devoured her lunch immediately, but today there was still some left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything else.
That isn't the case. Your lunch today is as delicious as always.
Rika dipped her chopsticks into Rena's bento box and rolls bits of food out one after the other.
Yes, delicious indeed. Very in particular, in fact. You know how those are pumpkin cookies, right? Are you okay? Yes. If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious.
Satoko disliked pumpkin. Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Don't know if I've ever had pumpkin. They always have them around Halloween. But you never eat them, do you? At least I've never. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Satoko kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was. If it's that good, then I guess I've got to have some too. Satoko's gonna eat it all if we let her.
It's just too good, so I would especially like it if Keiichi-san were to eat some as well.
Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today. She really, really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Satoko's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Satoko, in a somewhat exaggerated fashion, was bawling, tears streaming down her face. The way that's worded, it seems like it's like, reminds me of another Halloween tradition. I grabbed her head and duck, just like, ah! Have you ever done duck and apples and someone does that to you? Just like, always suspicious, just like, no ducking apples. Because you know someone's gonna do that. No way, you'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Rena, you too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight.
Yeah, it's like radish has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess we'll have some then. Rena reached up with the chopsticks and at last the usual lunch on that soup again to return. That was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of oyashiro-sama's curse, which had reoccurred for 5 years in a row, didn't the little classroom remained stuck in its somber mood. Can you imagine me saying the wrong word? Just like in this somber mood, it's like, samba? No, somber! Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone heard who wanted the previous year to be the last. What was oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad. They said they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So I was the curse dumbly resisting. I hit myself on the cheeks to perk myself back up. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood, I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that. I forced a grieving story out of my mind, and the rising oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target. Mion's taken a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash her hands? Mion had said she was going to wash her hands and left since she hadn't come back yet. She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was up pretty late last night looking for the mayor after all.
I smiled wryly and let out a sigh. Today was no good. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. It was just another good day. I just transferred here basically so the shock of the curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
Mei-chan was really little. The mayor would always spoil her. When she was going for a prankster phase, he loved her like his own daughter. She told me that often.
I see. Mion was in shock too. Someone disappearing, and all because her curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice of someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward. Is that her, or what? Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together.
Think it wasn't out that late. I just still and she yawned ever and galled around her and started saying good night, good night.
Now that you mention it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in reverent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Is there a reason the old people treat Rika-chan like an idol? Is she their ideal image of a granddaughter or something?
I don't think anything about that. I don't know anything about that, but I want to see Rika-chan yawning. Probably like, and it's just like, oh, I want to take her home. I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more of a grind. She opens her mouth really wide so you can't see the back of her throat. You can see, I mean.
Rena's handy at times like these. I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on dating today, aren't I? I'm here for the flower garden. Garden is right beside the creature's ground. So right and immediately tell if you don't do it right.
I think Satoko's Chan it's just not only Rika-chan. Oh, yeah. Can't breathe. Oh, I got a glimpse. It was so cute. Rika-chan is cute. I'm gonna take you home.
Jesus Christ. Rena was squeezing her hands around Satoko's neck and was trying to get a look into her throat. You have some weird things that you find cute, Rena. You know, Rena is, I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious, isn't she? What? Why is the censor there? It's like, you know, Rena is, I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious pervert, isn't she? Maybe. Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. That's a weird description. At some point, the classroom erupted into laughter too.
Maybe Rena was doing it on purpose.
Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, back to seriousness. Let's go over to the water for that one. Right, I should have time. Slowly and quietly, at least I destroyed the room with newfound peace. I left the glasses. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. Fuck, I forget how it goes.
that's odd. I'm not sure, like, I don't know what the actual note is in the background with the strings, but those chords work well with C major, A minor, F major, and after that, I'm not sure. But then just go back around, you could use that chord progression for this track here. Maybe, like, follows up with G major, or D minor, or E minor. Maybe it's A minor or C major, I don't know, but it goes around to C major again. At least the way I was playing it. It sounded like it fit the progression of the notes. Did I read that previous line? I have a bad habit of that. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. Important detail, that. This building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden had before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one here as a modest gesture of appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full-size smaller than even Rika child. I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift a full watering can help me with this. This, if one was placed on day duty with someone like they'd do it all for you, so I had a big cake. No point in blaming her, I give up, I'll just get started. Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry office addressed me. Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Order that too, would you? Oh, you mean that vegetable garden? The one with the potatoes and carrots and all things that are only ingredients for curry? It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great course of the shadows was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday. I passed by the classroom, and I don't know how it happened, but Rena and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. While I was gone, the kids had arranged all the desks in a circle, forming a ring while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality, where talk of the elders' disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Soka's whirling elbow and Rena's backwards sliding spin kick made for a pleasant sight. How random. Even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. Ah, that's my pencil box! Ah, just let it happen today. I set to work hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. You know, I just wanted something mean. You know, like you said, like, the other person on day duty is just like a kid that's, like, even shorter than Rika. Imagine if you just, like, walked up to her, poured water on it, you'd be like, yeah, what are you doing that for? It's like, I was wondering if it'd be like a plant and you would suddenly grow taller so you could help me out. No, that should about do it. No sooner had I thought that than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too. That's such a pain. I have a feeling that we can make them bite me if I don't. I gave up, filled the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. It's so dilapidated, isn't it? I mean, look at that. It's like you think, well, from like the backstory on the school and it being the forestry thing originally and all that, it kind of makes sense that'd be kind of run down but still functional. They wouldn't really have much of a budget, really, would they? This was a place students didn't like to go. It was always damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pillbugs being around. Damn slugs! So when I ran across her in a place like that, I was surprised. Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that. Rika-chan was just standing there like a puppet, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here.
Rika-chan didn't even seem to react to my appearance. Rika-chan, finally she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. There were blades of grass stuck in her hair, too, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen to the ground. Rika-chan, are you hurt? Did you fall?
No, that isn't it.
Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though. What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then fell off or anything, did you?
Don't worry about me. I have something I want to ask you, Keiichi.
Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized it was so that I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask. I shuddered. So, what do you want from me? The way I said that, I imagine that's what he said. What do you want from me? It's like, I'm very suspicious now. What the hell? What the hell do you want? She looked straight into my eyes. Wrapped in eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my own eyes without actually asking me the question. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers.
Keiichi, did you do something bad on the Violet Festival?
Oh shit! My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clear to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up from my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain. And keep in mind, despite all the crazy shit they saw in that storehouse, it's like was mentioned that only the Furude family has access to that, and since she's the only one of them left, she technically would be the one that has the access to it.
Keiichi, you really don't remember?
My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Shion asked me. Oishi-san asked me. Shion asked me. And now Rika-chan was asking me. Now you just need Rena to ask you. And then for Satoko to ask you. And then maybe, just maybe, the teacher as well. We thought nobody knew about what really like my thoughts. In fact, everyone knew. They all knew when they came to ask me, again and again, until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't traumatize signs and darkness, and let's prove it.
Keiichi.
How should I respond? We never should have entered the forbidden storehouse, and even though I regret it so much, this is saying it wasn't enough. However, I'd all but decided what I was going to say. I'm not exactly a good kid, you know. I have lots of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific. Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Like a politician would, Keiichi. You have a career! No. Well, clearly his career would be like as a used car salesman. He'd be great at that. Heck, he probably would do well in politics as well, but I don't think he has the heart for it. I mean, like, calling people, like, with crappy cars, I can imagine, but politics, nah. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
I'm sorry for asking you something strange. Please forget about it.
She said, smiling her usual smile. Then, top. She went running off as if nothing had happened. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing. Rika-chan! She didn't hear my voice, and I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. It's one of those cases, right? It's like you decide, isn't it? It's like, okay, if this doesn't happen when this happens, then fuck it. And then when that actually happens, because you're like reluctant, at the same time you're like, I don't want to do that. But then when it's like that, it's like, fuck. Now what do? I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did. Hey, Rika-chan.
What is it?
If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, but I only looked away. I didn't break anything or steal anything, really. Sounds a bit of a posh accent going on there. Still, Tomotoki-san and Takna-san, they died so miserably, and that's weird! Well, that is weird as well. But the voice I just did, where it sounded posh, that was from freaking holding back a yawn. What the hell? You have a very posh sounding, repressed yawn. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive. No way it would forgive only me. Rika-chan quickly tossed her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit to what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180 as if flip the switch. Picture it, man. Picture it. I don't know what she would say, because I'm thinking of the whole thing, but that wouldn't really make sense in this context, would it, if he does admit to that? That would make sense. Rika-chan was the shrine maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling me on a Rika-chan? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. It's like he said with, like, when they're, like, doing their games and stuff with the club. He always, like, points out, like, Mion is always the biggest threat. And then we go around the other members and go, like, Satoko is good with traps, so you can't underestimate her. Rena, when she's in her cute mode, can be ferocious. But then it's like, Rika, it's clearly got a lot there, isn't it? Because they don't really interact much, so he doesn't really, know much about her. So, like, in the games, for example, you probably underestimate her the most out of all four. But you remember that freaking big punishment in Oyashiro-Sama with the principal thing? That was clearly Rika's freaking one. It's just like, goes to show, man. It's just like, she could be ruthless in those. She didn't, she only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Maibara. If you really are sorry, then you should say so. Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tomotoki-san and Takna-san died. A pulsing machine called Chaos was grinding up my brain. The juice wrung out of it turned into big droplets of sweat which began to fall. Keiichi! Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi.
I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She pet me kind of like one would a cat.
You know about the big storehouse a little way behind the shrine ground? It stores the instruments we use for rituals.
My breath literally stopped. Rika-chan wasn't acting in a aggressive way at all.
Apparently on the night of the festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse.
A cat?
Yes, a cat. Meow.
Rika-chan, no! She realized I was in fear. And now the whole patting him on the head thing, and him thinking it's like how one would pet a cat. It all comes together. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me.
The cat always went to explore inside the storehouse, but I always mean to it, Dad never let it go inside. So on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside.
The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takna-san. Oh wait, was it supposed to be me?
Inside there were actually lots of things that scared the cat.
Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me.
The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, shiver, meow, meow. It was terrible.
This cat, who are you saying it was?
The cat is the cat. Meow meow.
Rika-chan still avoided saying it. You know, it still boggles my mind, but Rika's voice actress in the anime is the same voice actress that voice acted Mai Kawasumi in canon. Just variety, that, isn't it? You gotta have variety and skill, obviously, if you want to be a professional voice actor or actress, whichever. The cat, though, was without a doubt me. Rika-chan, please tell me. The cat. What should it do now? Maybe it was a desperate question asked. I had sort of admitted to being a cat.
The cat's just a cat, so it can just keep meowing and everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. That's stupid.
Shouldn't it just keep meowing?
Jeez, Rika-chan, I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I'd already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice, like Theon said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now that's enough. The cat just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside.
Dog.
Who's speaking?
I can't tell which one it is now.
Who's like? Go back to the previous. Let's see if we can work out who's speaking. Who's the last one who spoke? That was. Maybe that was Keiichi saying that. That's right, it was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to see that it snuck inside. Yeah, it was. I was right then. As I said that, Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I'd already noticed her eyes darkening. Rika-chan. Her silence is frightening, so I split her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
It's alright. I'll protect the cat.
Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words, so dependable they were.
The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all the dogs are just misunderstanding.
It's not all that bad.
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure.
Rika-chan will do something about it. I don't even know left from right at the moment, so Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable.
It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it, yay!
She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. I bet also yay probably like in the anime would be Nippa! But she hasn't said it at all in this, so maybe it's just the way it's been translated. I mean, well, it's translated cute with a freaking Y, so I don't see why not freaking keep Nippa in there as well. Or maybe it was an anime adaptation thing, I don't know. Rika-chan said that the cat can just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing? Will you really be alright, Rika-chan?
If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs too.
I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. I don't think he did in the first place, really. I mean, you're talking about, like, clearly talking about serious things here, but you're using a cat and a dog as an example, making it sound confusing. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything. However, one thing I did know was to not worry and to leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head and smiled. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but stop to cry. Sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. It didn't think any of us would.
It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why it should never have seen the well.
She was right. It was
far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it? Rika-chan, what would happen to the cats? To the cats that snuck in, well, that night I'd heard Tomotake's son and Takano-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it.
Tomatake and Takano.
I gave a start to the sudden mention of actual names. We're through with cat games now. Now we're fricking actually giving names. Though it's weird to do that at this point, yeah.
You should forget about them.
My spine froze again. Forget?
Yes, it won't do you any good to remember those two cases. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible.
She said something so enormously terrifying that let the smile on her face waver at all. I don't know where you heard about it from, but... Oh, wait. Yeah, that must be her.
I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clear as a scrub bathtub.
Forget? Rika-chan, you know, don't you? I'm just now noticing. The Rika voice that I'm giving her now is essentially a toned-down version of the Rena voice. It's Rena's voice without that high level of enthusiasm. It's a bit more kind of held back. That is weird. You know, how those two died.
No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi.
Rika declared this in a flat voice. It was in a flat key. Probably B-flat major for all I know. No, nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable and even seemed trustworthy, but suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. There's two contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me. What about Shion? What happened to her? It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point.
The younger of the sister cats. Meow, meow.
Yeah, the little sister cats. Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
The big sister is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad.
The big sister cat? That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while.
Not in a good mood. Those words send a shiver through me. Now that I really think about it, her and Mion were the only ones that went in the classroom, so we can assume they had a bit of a chat, a bit of a talk, and that's why Rika was clearly crying before Keiichi, showed up, I guess. Mion was mad. She was mad that we gathered the ritual storehouse. Then we entered, not gathered it. How would you do that?
Let's stop having club from now on.
Huh? Why?
I think we should leave her alone.
Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I leave things to her just as she said. She even said that the cat should just keep me out. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano-san, Tomotake's-san, and what I did that night. One does not simply forget stuff like that, Keiichi. Just then we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break. I guess we should go back to class.
Keiichi.
As if she had noticed how miserable I was about to leave everything to her and flee the scene, Rika-chan called out to stop me.
The misunderstanding dog comes to try and bite the cat. Please tell me, okay?
The misunderstanding dog. She put it in this cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one. Who is the misunderstanding dog?
The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. It was going to bite anyone. It would have been the trickster cat first.
Interruption. The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika had admitted it. The sacrifices of the terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be she on a while. This I know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me, or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
I'm sorry. The cat is already dead and I set some of the sparrows most. I'm really sorry.
Rika-chan bowed so quickly it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking. Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again. That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities that day, so she suggested we not bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Well, is Mion even there? Rena seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in good mood. I remembered Rika-chan's words and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was.
Higurashi, when the crow Watanagashi.
Of course, that isn't the end of the chapter, is it?